Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. UFC Edmonton in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada has a pretty damn good matchup, right?
Yeah.
This is also in the flyweight division between Ariane Lipsky, the Queen of Violence, versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. I think I said that right.
Probably close enough.
Yeah, I've interviewed Jasmine a bunch of times.
Oh yeah.
Before she was even in the UFC, and then I've interviewed Ariane Lipsky as well in the past. Both seem pretty nice. Jasmine, she's more like a rambunctious type. But yeah, like she never had like a fighting background. She started fighting real late in her life as well, and she's done really well for herself, man. Like,
how old is she?
35.
Oh, okay.
She's almost 36.
Cool.
In a few months, like it's. But now I think like even if she's 35 or 36, these days like people are fighting much later in their career, or they're not taking as much damage as they did like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So these careers starting late and they could last longer. Like your prime is much longer.
Also, I think like women's prime is like later than men's prime is what I've heard, I think. And you see some fighters like Holly Holm, for example, like in their 40s fighting. So, yeah. And I think women honestly train a little smarter than men, I'm not going to lie. Just from what I've seen from personal experience. So they take less brain damage.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't punch as hard, which is actually a benefit.
100%.
And I think that also allows a lot of women to come into the sport much quicker and have success much quicker than a lot of men. You know, I'm not saying all men, but a lot of men. So let's look at Lipsky. You know, Lipsky, she's 30 years old, training down in southern Florida. I believe she trains with Amanda Nunez's team. But she does cross train with Amanda Nunez, and Amanda Nunez looks like she's coming back to fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's a possibility. For her, you know, she came into the promotion as like she was the champion in KSW. She has the name the Queen of Violence, so you would figure like she's probably one of the most violent women you've ever seen in your life.
Right.
But it's not really that. She's not like as violent as you would expect, right? So she's had like mixed results.
Yeah.
Right. So she's already had 12 fights in the UFC. I didn't even know that. Like she's 6-6, 12 fights in the UFC. She started off like on a bad run. Debuted against Joanna Wood, which is Joanna Calderwood.
Right.
Lost lost the next fight against Molly McCann, and then a lot of people thought like, man, if she loses against Molly McCann, like she's not good.
She's out of here.
Yeah, she's not good at all, because a lot of people thought Molly McCann was,
right,
not very good, right? And then she had a couple of good performances, and then now she's back to not being very good again, right?
Right. Yeah.
So anyways,
tough run.
So she did have a tough run, lost the first two, won the next two. She had that crazy knee bar against
that was
Luana
sick.
Carolina, where she was like sitting, and she's all of a sudden it's like, oh,
yeah,
yeah. And I think she screamed or something after that. Yeah, and then she lost 2 in a row after that. Finished in both fights at the end of the second round by ground and pound, which is weird. Like Montana De La Rosa and Antonina Shevchenko. And then she won against Mandy Baum. She lost via finish against Priscilla Zombie Girl, Priscilla Cachoeira.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
And then she won 3 in a row, after that. Because one thing cool about her, she's always like evolving, and you kind of see that. You know what I mean? She'll lose one, win one, lose one, win one. So she kind of came into the UFC early.
Yeah, kind of undeveloped, and she's kind of been developing as she's been fighting. Yeah.
So she won that. She won 3 in a row. Jada Aldrich, which is a good win. Melissa Gatto, good win. Casey O'Neill, she beat her by submission, good win. And in her last fight, she fought Corinne Silva. And now people are like, who the hell is Corinne Silva?
Yeah.
Corinne Silva is good.
Yeah, but I honestly didn't know anything about her before that fight.
Yeah, Corinne Silva is good. Now she's like on the verge of the top 15. And Corinne Silva is, I think she's going to fight soon as well. She has a fight coming up at UFC 309 on November 16th against Viviane Araujo, who Viviane Araujo fought for the title.
Right.
So it shows you like
So,
what
yeah.
level Korean is at.
they-
What do you
they-
think of Lipsky? You know, like from like what you remember of her fights and like, you know, she had a lot of hype.
She did have a lot of hype, and I remember being part of that hype train, and then kind of like being a little, you know, dissatisfied with some of the performances that she's had. But just as you said, it's kind of been fun to like watch her development and like watch her process and everything like that. I mean, I don't think that she's like a bad fighter. I think she's got skill, definitely. Like I've seen great things in her striking and stuff like that, and like that knee bar was fucking really cool. But yeah, it's like hard to put like any kind of faith in her with the streak that she's had, right? And someone like Jasmine, I've seen like, I feel like Jasmine like has her game, you know, set. Like she knows what she wants to do in there, and she goes and she does it, and when she does it properly, she wins, you know? Whereas I feel like Lipsky is a little all over the place. You know, I don't really know what her strong suit is, you know?
Yeah.
Or what
I
her
see
game
you're
plan
saying.
is.
You're right. She's like, it's not like she's unpredictable, but you never know what you're going to get out of her.
Yeah.
Like she could seem like she's winning the fight and she's gaining momentum and then, you know, and she's like, she just looks like a top 15 fighter at certain points.
Yeah.
In certain fights, right?
For sure.
But then like there's certain fights where she just doesn't look like she wants to be there.
Yeah.
Right? I could see that, right? Let's talk about Jasmine. You know, Jasmine, she won the Contender Series in 2021, and then won her debut against Kay Hansen. Lost her second fight against Natalia Silva. If you know Natalia Silva, she's that karate chick. She's fucking good.
Yeah.
Right? So she lost
Very
the decision
good.
to her. Came back, won 2 in a row, and like you were saying, all these fights she's won, like she beat Kay Hansen, Gabrielle Fernandez, Miranda Maverick, Priscilla Zombie Girl, finished her in the 3rd round, and in her last fight against Fatima Klein, when she's doing her thing, like it's hard to stop her.
Yeah.
It might not be the most exciting style to watch, but she's tough as hell.
Yeah.
And she can just get through shit.
Yeah. She's kind of like a bulldog or a brick wall.
Yeah.
She just kind of like slowly fucking treads forward and then just like pins her opponents up against the cage, you know? I think she's got her game set and she executes it very well, you know? The only time that I've seen it really falter is with that Natalia Silva fight. And I think, you know, the constant, like, Natalia Silva was so good at, like, circling and getting out of range and everything like that.
And the kicks, you know, like from distance.
Oh, yeah.
Like leaping in and out with kicks.
So fast,
kicks,
too, right?
Yeah.
Like, Jasmine doesn't really have speed. You know, she is very skilled, but I feel like, the speed isn't there. The strength is there. Yeah. My God. She's fucking strong as fuck, but she just doesn't have that speed that, say, someone like Natalia Silva would. I think if Ariane Lipsky wants to win, I think she needs to watch that fight over and over and over again and just kind of, like, be that fighter, you know, constantly circling, getting out of the way, picking your shots.
Jasmine has overachieved.
Yeah.
You know, it's not I'm not talking shit, but I'm saying, like, she's overachieved from what a lot of people expected out of her.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people didn't expect her to be on her 8th fight with the UFC. She's 5-2. Like, she has a very good record.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's chalked up to, like, her style. Like, people are not like, oh, yeah, Jasmine's, like, knocking girls out or, like, you know, choking them silly. No, it's not like people remember that more for some reason. They don't remember
because it's exciting, right?
Yeah, it's exciting, right? And it's quick.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like, sit there for 15 minutes to get an assessment of, like, what type of fighter you are.
Yeah.
I think this fight is definitely going to the ground. Like, Lipsky she's gonna want to trade.
Yeah.
But Jasmine, if she can get you to the ground, and she's gonna strike with you, but
Yeah.
if she can get you to the ground, she's gonna get you to the ground. And I think that's what's gonna happen. I think Lipsky's not gonna be able to handle the onslaught of the grappling and the clinch along the fence, and it's gonna tire her out.
Yeah.
And Jasmine, she's just like a zombie as well. You know,
Yeah.
she beat the zombie girl by finish.
So she's
MMA
even more
math.
zombie than the zombie girl.
Yeah, and MMA math, you know, Lipsky lost to zombie girl
Right.
by
Right.
first round finish, right?
Right.
So if we do dumb MMA math, like, oh, then Jasmine's
Right.
gonna win.
Right.
But if you take that fight out and just look at the other fights, Jasmine, you already know her clear path to victory.
Yes.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to stop that.
Yeah.
Can you stop it? That's the thing. Lipsky, can you stop that?
Yeah.
Have you been training enough in those certain positions to be able to stop the onslaught of Jasmine?
Yeah.
And I don't think she's going to be able to do that.
No, I don't think so either. I think honestly, like, if Jasmine manages to get her to the ground, I think it's just going to be a lot of control time, because I've seen Lipsky kind of accept guard in quite a few of her fights, and I think I could see that happening. If she manages to have that speed advantage and she doesn't put her back up against the fence, then I think there could be potential. But I think as soon as Jasmine gets a hold of Lipsky, I think that could be it.
Yeah, she
You
does
know?
have better wrestling. Like, it's not just like grabbing wrestling. It's like she actually can slide in and do double legs and things like that, and use the fence as well. Yeah, I could see if Lipsky wins, this fight could turn into something boring. The reason why I say that is because if Lipsky wins, she could just like pitter patter her and use her footwork and kind of keep her distance.
Yeah,
and win
exactly.
The fight like that,
Yeah.
like judges' scorecards.
Yeah.
Or Jasmine can go in there and kind of like dominate her on the ground, but you know, Lipsky might be good enough to just kind of stay away from getting finished.
Right.
I only see a finish by Jasmine on the ground. Submission,
Yeah.
TKO. I think like that's what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna see a grinding fight, and Jasmine finishes her like in the second or third round, just by just continual, just annoying her and just punching her and, you know, kneeing her. And also the new rules are in effect as well, so you can't like. Jasmine likes to use the fence to do takedowns. Like if she takes girls down, and she like lets them back up to where like they're in a vulnerable position to where you can knee them, because the new rules is like you can't be on a 3-point stance anymore. That's not a down opponent.
Really?
This is the first event that they're gonna allow this.
Shit.
So you can't like lean against the fence and put your hand down and then they can't knee you. No, they could knee you now. They could kick you too.
Sick. Okay,
So there's no
this is
playing the
great.
game.
That's great news.
And that's good for Jasmine, her style.
Yeah.
Because she gets her opponents in that position a lot. And that could be a finishing move right there.
100%. I've been wanting for that rule to fucking go for the longest time. Yeah, I hope it's exciting, because I could see this fight being boring if Jasmine can't get a hold of Lipsky, for sure. Also, if Lipsky's grappling is just good enough, and then we just see a lot of like control time as well. So I'm hoping Jasmine pulls something out, like a fucking awesome submission, or just like you said, like a knee. That would be great. But I definitely have Jasmine as well for the fight.
All right, the odds are Jasmine is the favorite at -205, and Lipsky's the underdog, and I see the favorite winning this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad matchup for Lipsky.
I think so too.
Yeah.